guys, we're back talking some more Season 2 of The Wheel of Time on the channel, Episode 5 just dropping. I could not wait to deep dive into this week's episode, just because last week we had so many exciting things left hanging in the balance, and also just a lot of big reveals. In particular, the reveals with Leandrin, and also the bigger one is Selene is in fact Lanfear. That detail in particular was quite a doozy, and only gets more insane in Episode 5. Before I deep dive into my thoughts about Episode 5, share your thoughts down below. How did you feel about the episode? And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because it's a lot of fun talking about the Wheel of Time as someone who is new to the source material, because I have not read the books. As you can imagine, after that Selene reveal, Rand and Moiraine are just booking it through these woods while Lanfear recovers, taking this woman's horses, brutally murdering one of them. That one was kind of a bit of a shock to me, even though I understand it. I don't know, I'm used to brutal horse death, I guess, from watching Game of Thrones, but this time around, I guess it affected me a little bit more. Even though she gets extremely lucky because some random guy strolls on by thinking that she needs assistance. If anyone is not lucky in the situation, it is that guy. Now, Selene as a character, I never found her to be overly likable per se, but the shift between Selene and Lanfear, just wow, what a ominous, cruel person now that we get to experience what Lanfear is actually like. I mean, my jaw was literally on the floor when she just pops that guy's head like a balloon. As if it wasn't bad enough that she popped this guy's head like a fruit gusher, then she proceeds to take the mouth away of the horse wrangler. Not to jump ahead too much, but then even later on we find out when Moiraine tells Rand that one of her powers is she's basically like Freddy Krueger and she can attack you while you're asleep. I'm sure that's a little bit of an oversimplification of her abilities, but that was the first thing I thought of when Moiraine mentioned that she can attack you in your dreams. At this point, it just feels like Moiraine is adding on to the trauma mountain that Rand is experiencing currently. He watched the woman that he loved get brutally murdered, but she actually was a member of the Forsaken, and then it's revealed to Rand by Moiraine that he didn't actually defeat the Dark One at all. Instead, he set one of the other Forsaken free, Ishamil, who is starting to release other members of the Forsaken, which is pretty bad since they are pretty powerful with just these two, and it's just gonna get worse if they release more of them. Speaking of Ishamil, as all this stuff is going on, we get to see him, Lady Sarath, and Padden Fane being scolded pretty much for disobeying orders, invading that village without permission. Ishamil isn't really punished for it. He actually gets to give the High Lord a gift, which is the Horn of Valir, while Lady Sarath gets her nails chopped off, which I have to imagine has some level of significance that is just lost on me because I'm not familiar with the source material. If you want to enlighten me on stuff like that in the comment section, I'm open to it. The more fascinating element to me is the aftermath where Lady Sarath and Ishamil go tit for tat on who needs who. I don't really know too much about the actor that portrays Ishamil, but I am loving his portrayal of the character between last season, and in particular in Season 2, since he is a much more relevant part to the story. I quite like his characterization, his calm delivery no matter what the situation calls for. It's just, there's something about it that I find so unsettling, which makes him a really exciting antagonist. One of the major stories I always get excited for whenever we cut to them is Perrin on his journey, and it does not disappoint once again this week. The confliction in Perrin's journey is what also has me so engaged in it, because of the fact he is unsure what path he wants to take, whether or not he wants to roll with his Wolf Brother pack, or go and search for his friends and rescue them, like Loyal. I get that it's tough, but I do hope that inevitably we do get to see more of him in action with these Wolf Brothers and this Wolf pack. At least he's got his friend Hopper by his side at this point. Out of a lot of this cast of characters, it seems like Perrin is the one that almost is always in consistent dangerous situations, and that continues in this week's episode. He goes back to town, and surprise, the people of this town are white cloaks, even having a short appearance of Valda. There are a few episodes left to go, but for now, I think we might have met my personal favorite new character of Season 2, this mysterious Aiel woman that eventually we learn the name of is Avienda. What a badass character. Just in this opening introduction to the character, she is just so damn cool. Her personality is great, I love her confidence, but the fight sequence, that's where I was so impressed, where we have this elaborate, amazing action sequence where she pretty much single-handedly takes down all the white cloaks in this action sequence. This could just be a me thing, but I greatly appreciate the little humorous moments of levity that we get in pretty much every single episode. In this particular episode, I actually did think it was kind of fun seeing Avienda jokingly flirt with Perrin, and just the all-around awkwardness when Rand and Moiraine go back to her sister's house and we get to meet the future king, her nephew, and the way that Moiraine plays around with him because he wants to be addressed formally. While it is a brief moment, I'm glad it feels like we're seeing Moraine and her sister kind of mend their broken relationship, having a little bit of a sisterly bond here and there in a few sequences. Going back to the humorous moments, I was so caught off guard at first glance when it looked like Ishamael was cuddling up next to Rand in bed, and then it turns out it was all in his dream. It was Lanfear in his dream messing with him. Despite the fact that both of them are evil, it seems like they're not exactly on the same page in every front. There is some skepticism between the two if they're going to actually work together and not betray one another. And that kind of division isn't just relegated to these two. You see that a little bit later on with Liandrin and Lady Sarath. Finally, we get to their storyline. We address the aftermath of Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine being held captive by Liandrin. Even despite how Liandrin is quite evil at this point, she's a character that I just find so captivating, since she does kind of teeter in between being good and evil. I mean, not really good, but I mean, you get what I mean. Because even though she chooses not to uphold these rules and betray her sisters, you do more or less kind of understand her motivations. She's the type of character that always keeps me on my toes, not knowing what she's going to do next. She's really a kind of a wild card, because even when she's talking to Lady Sarath, it doesn't seem like she's a big fan of Lady Sarath either, and antagonizes her, and before she leaves, she unties Nynaeve, which causes just all of this chaos and pandemonium. Shots are being blasted all over this forest as they're trying to escape. It was so frustrating to see Egwene got captured by the Shan-Chan, but afterwards, we get to see Elaine and Nynaeve try and navigate the city and hide from these people, and they get captured once again. Thankfully, this time they get captured by good guys, a yellow Aja, but still, how many times are they going to get captured at this point? Similar to last week, with the way this episode concludes, I cannot wait for the next episode, since Ishamael and Lady Sarath deliver Egwene as a prisoner, but also Rand and Moraine are formulating this plan to take on Lanfear. When Rand goes to sleep, he's transported to this really trippy dream world, and that's where we leave off the episode. So, I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous for Rand going into this world with this Freddy Krueger type woman. Who knows what she's capable of in this dream world. I've only seen a little bit of her power set so far, but what we've seen where she could just blow people's heads off and stuff, that's pretty bad. I'm nervous for Rand going into the dream world against that. But like I said before, make sure you share your thoughts down below. How did you feel about the Wheel of Time Season 2, Episode 5? Did you like the episode? Did you not like the episode? Share all your thoughts down below, because part of the fun is having that conversation with you guys in the comment section down below. And thank you guys, as always, chat videos. I always do appreciate it. Make sure you like on the video and also subscribe to the channel so you update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Next time, I'll see you guys later.